Hey guys, this is SOCRATEZ bringing you another Shoutcast from the Starcraft 2 beta. I'm going to go ahead and get things started along now, trying to keep it under 10 minutes. Currently, I am working on the Team Liquid Invitational Finals here. This is a best-of-5 match between WhiteRa, who's been playing as the Protoss, and the Little One, who's been playing as Random. We are in Game 1 right now, and this is on the map Lost Temple, with WhiteRa spawning as the green Protoss, and just across this narrow gap, we have the Little One spawning as the purple Protoss. Going random, though, has forced WhiteRa to have to scout his opponent out to be able to tell what race he is. So if the Little One is comfortable playing any of the three races, this can give him a huge advantage over his opponent. Both players going a pretty standard build with a gateway, getting up their gases, and just trying to do a standard build. No cheese coming from either player. So we're going to see the game go for a decent length. We'll have to see how it turns out, though. A probe in here for the Little One, harassing this pylon. I'm going to slow things down now, as the Little One also has a Zealot coming in now. So we'll have to see how this early harassment can go, but WhiteRa has his own Zealot out now. I'm not sure how effective this will be. Little One's going straight for that pylon, but Chrono Boost is going to get the Stalker out pretty quick. That Zealot for WhiteRa is going to force Little One to have to micro his Zealot around, see what he can do here. Second gateway coming in for the WhiteRa now, as the Little One kites that around, but he brings in another Zealot. Stalker comes into play now. Both Zealots trying to focus fire down that pylon. This Zealot gets taken down. Second Zealot is being focus fire, but that pylon is going to go down. That gateway is completely unpowered now. And this gives the Little One a decent advantage here for units, as WhiteRa is forced to get another pylon up to be able to produce any further units. Meanwhile, the Little One's still pumping out units, getting a Stalker out now, and going for a robotics facility. This is pretty early with only one gateway, so he may be decently confident here, or just trying to do something unusual to throw his opponent off. This robotics facility can be used to bring out warp prisms or colossi, so we'll have to see. But given the short distance between these two bases, I wouldn't be surprised to see warp prisms used to do drops into the worker line of WhiteRa. WhiteRa now has two gateways up with a third gateway coming in, so he's got the unit advantage so far to the Little One's one gateway. So only one gateway might end up hurting the Little One in the long run, as WhiteRa is able to just pump out units so very quickly. He's researching Warp Gate now, getting that up. That'll allow him to drop his units in anywhere he has power, and an expansion coming up in the natural of WhiteRa. So an early economic advantage seems to be going to WhiteRa. We'll have to see if the Little One can scout this and counter it and prevent him from running away with this game very early on. Triple gateway 2-1. It seems like advantage WhiteRa so far, but the warp prism is out now, and a robotics bay coming up, so it looks like he will be going colossi. Robotics bay a requirement for that colossus, so interesting maneuver here. We'll have to see how good he can micro that colossus inside of the opponent's base and see if he can gain an economic advantage early on. Only one gateway still, though. If you look at the units, the Little One only has two Zealots, a Stalker, and a Sentry, compared to four Zealots, a Stalker, and four Sentries for WhiteRa. If WhiteRa's got decent Sentry micro, he'll be able to use these force fields very effectively to separate his opponent's forces and allow him to just destroy his opponent's army. And considering this is the finals of the Team Liquid Invitational, I would have to say WhiteRa's micro is pretty damn good. Warping in more units now, getting this saturated, trying to get it up and running, getting an economic advantage. Right now, if you look at it, both players pretty even, but here comes this drop with that Colossus. This may give the Little One advantage, taking down probes left and right. WhiteRa quickly bringing his troops in, but it might be too little too late. Oh, but great work there, getting his workers out. Little One is going to pick up his unit and bring it out. He might, dropping it again, trying to get a little extra harassment, but in the meantime, he loses that warp prism, and he's going to lose this Colossus without doing too much damage to his opponent. That Colossus was just too expensive. It's 250 minerals and 100 gas. Oh, I'm sorry, 300 minerals and 200 gas to build one of those, so not getting too much bang for his buck there. Finally bringing in a second gateway, but it may be a little too late. Triple warp gates now, and a decent-sized ground army. But for WhiteRa. Little One going another Colossus, so he seems determined with this Colossus build. He's getting an expansion up now. I'm not sure if he scouted his opponent's expansion up or if he's just getting this because he knows without an expansion he will eventually lose, but his harassment so far has been decently, or not very effective. Looking at the income, WhiteRa, in fact, has a higher income than the Little One, so even though his workers got harassed, he still has a higher income than his opponent. A decent-sized force coming in here now, but his observer is going to see this Colossus. He's going to pull his units out. Little One's chasing his units out, but great micro there with the sentries allows WhiteRa to get a force field up here, and the Little One is blocked off. He only loses one stalker there, WhiteRa, and he manages to get most of his troops out unharmed, bringing in his own Warp Prism and an Immortal, so perhaps some drops coming in for WhiteRa to counter, but here comes that Colossus again. WhiteRa sees it though and brings his units back in. The Colossus drops down, immediately picked back up, just harassing, taking down single probes at a time. 3 probes have gone down so far, but it's not too effective going to that natural now, forcing WhiteRa to move his units all the way down this cliff. But WhiteRa quickly pulls his probes out. That's going to save him a lot of economic hurt there. Little One forced to go to this high ground, forced to get out of there without doing too much damage, dropping that Colossus now on the high ground, going to take down a couple of probes, but he's just not doing as much damage as I know he was hoping he would do here. He's going to be forced to pull that unit out. Looks like WhiteRa's taking advantage of this moment and pushing that base very hard now, bringing his sentries into play, warping in more stalkers, going for that base, and bringing his own dropship now with 2 Immortals. I don't know if Immortals are going to be the best choice for this harass here, but he is managing to pull the units down here, so not a very good harass, but manages to pull those units away. Meanwhile, he's massing up at the natural expansion, coming in the front door. So perhaps that wasn't meant so much as a harass as just simply to pull the army of the Little One away as his troops come in here to destroy these workers. His stalkers his sentries put up a force field, preventing those zealots and immortals to get in there. Meanwhile, his zealots are just destroying this worker line. This expansion has been utterly wiped out as far as workers are concerned, and he's now working on the troops. Oh, another wall off, preventing these 4 zealots and that immortal from getting down there, while WhiteRa just continues to destroy units. But the drop over here brought a couple zealots in, but they are gonna go down. But this Colossus is gonna be the tide turner here. WhiteRa zealots have no chance here against this force with the Colossus. That's gonna be destroyed, but decent harassment from WhiteRa. If you actually look at the income now, WhiteRa has an amazing 1,100 income compared to the 500 of the Little One. So considering Little One started out early with the harass, WhiteRa has almost double the resources. Another harass here from WhiteRa with that dropship, but the zealots chasing it are not going to allow him to do too much there. WhiteRa continues to stream units in, perhaps feeling the win is at his fingertips. He just continues to stream units in, trying to keep the pressure up as he continues to harvest. That income, though, is now 700 to 1,100. I think that's going to be the game changer. WhiteRa just has too high of an income, and he continues to stream units, while the Little One continues to build Colossus, and he's bringing up a Forge now, but it might just be too late here. Oh, it looks like the Little One, in fact, took down the buildings of the Little One, so he's not going to be able to bring in any more Colossus. Meanwhile, he's coming in the front door. Colossus coming over. That's not a very good fight for the Colossus, so he has to pull it out to go to the high ground. Meanwhile, these Immortals are back in the back harassing. As these Stalkers just continue to destroy, that Colossus is going to be pulled out. This game is all but over here. Little One just trying to hold on desperately, but GG from the Little One. So game 1 goes to WhiteRa pretty decisively there. The Little One had some pretty gutsy moves with that Colossus harass, but it wasn't as effective as he hoped, and he ends up losing. Game 1 of the best of 5 goes to WhiteRa. This is just the beginning of this final match, guys, so stay tuned. Feel free to comment. I read all comments, and I'll probably comment back to you, in fact, and subscribe for the more StarCraft 2 replays, because I will be working on these games just as quickly as I can, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. And goodbye.